Hello guys, you're welcome to Crypto Based Media. I'm Rock, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to set your stop loss properly. Now, have you ever been in a trade where your stop loss hits and then the price goes back to your predicted direction? I bet yes, because it has happened to almost every cryptocurrency trader or even stocks trader or forex traders. Now, the reason this is happening is because you are not setting your stop loss right. Maybe your entry isn't well planned, and that is why your stop loss hits too often because you don't know how to set a proper stop loss. And that is what I'm going to be showing you in this video if you stick to the end of the video. Now, firstly, what is a stop loss? What is a stop loss? A stop loss is a risk management strategy that helps to cut your losses and then make them minimal. Stop losses are very important when trading because it is the most useful tool in capital preservation, and then it helps you survive in the market. It helps you come back another day. You should only forget about your stop loss if you want to get wrecked or you want to blow your accounts very fast and you don't even want any of that. Now, what is the thing that you were told about stop loss before? What most people know about stop loss is that your stop loss should be 5 to 10% to your entry, and that is where people get it wrong. Many people think, okay, as a stop loss, it has to be a fixed number, that it should be based on a percentage or on a fixed number. Meanwhile, it is not so. Stop loss are based on technical analysis, not a random number or a fixed number. Stop loss should be based mainly on your technical analysis. Now, using technical analysis to set your stop loss will increase your chance of winning your trade. You can't use a fixed percentage as stop loss because every trade you carry out is unique and different from each other. So therefore, you can't use the same number percentage for a stop loss, and that is why you have to use technical analysis to set your stop loss. Now, how do you set a proper stop loss? Firstly, you need to understand that every trade you take is an idea. Every trade you take is an idea. Now, once this idea gets invalidated, that is when your stop loss or where your stop loss should be placed. You should keep in mind that you have a reason for carrying out a trade. That's your reason, is your idea. Either you are carrying out a trade because of the pattern you see, or because of an uptrend line you see, or because of a support and resistance you see. That is your reason for carrying out that trade. You buy at support, sell at resistance, right? That is your reason. Now, if your reason gets invalidated, that is where your stop loss is, and you are going to use technical analysis to know where your reason gets invalidated. It's as simple as when that structure is no more valid, then your stop loss is getting validated. If the structure is no longer valid, then that means your stop loss should be at that point where your structure breaks or is no longer valid. So once the idea gets invalidated, you are wrong. Now, you have to set your stop losses at where the idea gets invalidated, like I've explained earlier. If it's a structure, you set stop loss where the structure is broken. And then a channel should be, if it is also a channel that you're following that isn't to trade, the stop loss should be where the channel changes course, and maybe from an uptrend it changes to a downtrend. You put your stop loss where that change happens. Now, I'm going to show you a practical example of a proper stop loss and how and where you should set your stop loss. Now, the first one I want to look at is this one. This one is based on a structure, on a downtrend that is forming lower lows and lower highs. It is forming lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. Now, once the trade gets to this place, I decided to make my own entry around this side. Now, look at where I set my stop loss. This is where my stop loss is. I know that, let's say this trade or this coin did not actually go to this way. Let's say this coin or this trade goes to this place to form a new higher, this downtrend is no longer valid. So therefore, I set my stop loss there, and that is based on technical analysis. But look at where I put my take profits. My take profits is currently at the bottom of the downtrend, and successfully the trade I was already in profit. That is me setting my stop loss rightly. Now let's look at another scenario for setting your stop loss. Now let's look at this one of a trend line. Yes, let's look at this one of a trend line. Now this one right here is showing an uptrend line earlier, it was showing an uptrend line earlier. Now I got to this place, I took my trade that okay, this is an uptrend line. Once it touches the line, it bounces. That is what it has been doing in the previous trade. It touches the line, it bounces, it touches, it bounces, touches, bounces, touches, bounces. Now it's made another touch, and then I felt this is my reason for taking this trade because it is an uptrend. That is my idea. Now what will make my idea get invalidated is when this uptrend is no longer an uptrend, if it changes course to a downtrend. And where is that going to happen? When that price gets to this place. And definitely I was already safe here because I set my trades right and I set my stop loss right. Now the uptrend is no longer valid, and then the stop loss hits, and then I'm safe. It's as simple as that, guys. This is using technical analysis to set your stop losses properly. You don't just say my stop loss is 5%, 10%. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So this is me setting my stop loss with a technical analysis, and it is very, very easy to understand for you. Now, the last scenario I want to give you, this is the scenario of a support and resistance. Now, one thing we know about support resistance is that we buy support, we sell resistance. We buy support, we sell resistance. We buy support to sell resistance. We buy support to sell resistance. Now, the same thing here. What will make my support and resistance trade setup, what will make it invalid? It is when the price is no longer ranging along the support and resistance. When it breaks out or it breaks down this support and resistance, that is where I should set my stop loss. So you see this red line right here. If I'm taking this trade, let's say I'm taking a short because it has reached resistance, or I'm selling because it has reached resistance. If I'm putting my stop loss right here, it will tell me that it is this place that this structure or this setup is no longer valid, and that is where my stop loss should be set. So that is how to set your stop loss through technical analysis. And then also you need to give space for deviation wicks. Institutional traders try to push the markets down and make you think that the market is actually going down. So that is why you see long wicks, for example, like this one, and then you think the market is actually going down, or you think it is actually breaking. Meanwhile, it is not breaking. You just need to give space for those type of wicks so that they don't haunt your stop loss. So that's why you also need to give space when it gets to support and resistance and other trading setups. All right, guys, so that is how to set your stop loss with technical analysis. Now, I hope you can set your stop loss properly, and then your stop loss won't hit too often again. So if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and share Crypto Base Media to your friends.